All right, here we go. What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journos Comics and Pop Culture. And this is Friday Night Live. I want to say thank you to everyone that is already here. I'm going to say what's up to all of you. I appreciate seeing you guys in the chat right now. So, for those that don't know, this is my first time getting in front of a camera, either going live or pre-recorded, talking about comic books for about 7 weeks. I went live to address the loss of our good friend Simon. Well, I have been on Comic Book Canon for a couple weeks there doing the weekly show, but not on my channel. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for sticking with me through this time. You know, we're going to, like I said, we're going to talk about comics tonight. We are going to get to all of the Patreon Q&A questions as well. I do want to say what's up to everyone that's here right now real quick, though. Dale was popping in. Thanks, Dale. Good to see you. Life is good. X11, Viper, some familiar faces that I have not seen in a while. Ghost Junk, Raising Elm. Appreciate you guys. Tony is here. What's going on, Tony? Got some questions from you tonight to answer, Tony. Pedro's here. Shadow Rat. EW. Spider Dude 71. Steven is here. Matt Labno. JG Comics. Creepy Cow Comics. Thank you, thank you. Man. GT Comics. Key Comics, that is. I'll say you guys are putting a smile on my face. I had to push through again just to be here tonight, guys. It's been tough. It's been tough. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I almost wanted to do my first stream back and entitled it, You Can't Fake a Smile. I might still do that. I don't know. But in this life, sometimes you can't fake a smile. And sometimes coming in front of this camera takes a bit of an acting job, and I just haven't had it in me. But tonight, I'm going to do my best to be in the present moment with you all, to exchange this positive energy here tonight, to feel you guys, to feed off you guys, because I do appreciate you. So with that being said, I want to get into some serious stuff before we talk about comics. All right. Brendan, what's going on, Brendan? Like I said, I did a stream a couple weeks back. We lost an amazing member of this community, Simon Rodriguez. It's just, again, like coming here, I'm getting kind of eerie goosebumps right now. Not having him in this chat right now, not seeing his handle come up on screen. It's something that I still haven't came to grips with, and I don't know when I will. But he lost his battle to cancer. There is a link in the description below. It's the first thing you will see down there, to the GoFundMe that is going to help his family during this time with funeral, burial expenses, whatever they need. So I beg of you all to click that link and donate anything you can, even if it's just a couple dollars, because everyone pitching in adds up and it ends up being a lot. So I want to make that known. I'll be repeating that a couple times throughout the night. Again, the link is below. If anyone deserves help right now, it is Simon's family, because Simon contributed so much to this community and so much to this world. Also, I do want to mention that I am going to have my first Whatnot sale. I'm going to try. I need to. I got bills to pay. I haven't even gone through my comics. I haven't gotten anything ready, but I'm looking at the first week of February to having a Whatnot auction. All right. Now, this isn't going to be a charity auction. With everything on my plate, I haven't been able to organize that for Simon and his family. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take 10% from everything that I make on this Whatnot sale and donate it to, I'm not going to donate it probably to the GoFundMe, because the GoFundMe they don't take too much. It's pretty good. I think they only take like 10%. So I'll be in communication with Simon's wife And I might just do a bank account transfer or even Venmo or excuse me, Zelle, because Zelle does not take any percentage off. I will be showing proof of how much money that is after the sale. And I will be showing proof on my Instagram and on my YouTube that the money was indeed donated. So again, I know it's not a crazy amount. You know, I'm just being real. Like I said, with everything going on in my life, I've been hit. I took time off work. I haven't been making YouTube videos. I haven't been selling comic books. I need to have a sale so I can bring in some income. But like I said, I am taking 10% of that and donating from that entire sale and donating it to Simon's family. I still want to do my best to try to organize some type of auction where everything goes to the family. And I know I've had people reach out to me. Hey, Chris, I got books that I want to donate. What do I do? Again, with everything going on in my life, I just haven't had the energy, the brain power, the soul power to sit and put all that together. All right. I hear you. X11. Thank you. Yep. I mean, you're right. Yep. Thank you, Dale. So there's that. I'll probably be repeating that again tonight as well. Now we're going to talk about the main title of discussion here tonight. We are, but this is a Patreon Q&A live as well. I do have to pick up my son real live, guys. So we're not going to be going too long tonight, probably a solid hour from here. I want to say again, huge, with all the gratitude from my heart to all my Patreon members. You guys have been so patient. I can't even talk. You guys have been so patient with me over the last 6-7 weeks. I brought to the attention to all my Patreon members that I was going through what I was going through. And I said, we're just going to combine November and December's questions into one. I hope you guys don't mind. You were like supportive. I didn't realize that I didn't put a actual December post on my Patreon page for you guys to ask more questions. So unfortunately, there aren't a lot of questions, and that's my bad. So I have all the questions from November. I still need to put up January's questions because, of course, we're going to have a January Q&A in February. All right. So again, hoping to get more back on schedule moving forward month to month here. Although I will say things are rocky on my end and I can't sugarcoat that, such as life. But we got some good questions and we are going to answer them. All right. Please let that be known. Lastly, before we get into the main topic of discussion, I have 2 prizes that were from, I believe, November, before all this craziness went down with me. A Patreon prize. The winner of that Patreon giveaway not only didn't reach back out to me when I contacted them, but they are also no longer a Patreon member. So I'm going to pay that forward. And again, I just haven't had the ability to process it and get it together. So that is going to be given away. I'm going to do a new randomizer to give away to another one of my Patreon members. Same thing happened with my YouTube member giveaway. The person never reached back out to me. I gave them multiple opportunities. I feel bad, but unfortunately, if you're watching this, I got to move on. I got to pay it forward. I'm also going to be getting together new prizes as soon as I can. I just, again, ask you guys to please have patience with me. D Mets, what's going on? It's good to see you here. Holy Harlot, what's going on? So that's that. So again, to all of my members, I really do appreciate you guys during this time. All right. Let's talk about comic books, guys. I am not buying comics anymore. Somebody responded in the chat before I even went live. They're like, I'm not either, and I don't believe neither one of us. Unfortunate for me, it's true. At least for right now. So, here's where I'm at. This mainly applies to new releases. Okay, so that's kind of the caveat. I would buy comic books. I would do the pre-sale previews orders from mycomicshop.com where you get 35% off. And those buy-in, I still recommend you guys doing that to get that 35% off. and to secure any spec books before, you get the FOMO and you miss out and now you're mad because you don't have the book, right? I would put in an order every month and I would get my new releases every month. I am no longer doing that, at least for the time being. I haven't put an order in the last 2 months, and I'm on like 3 months here coming up in February. Why am I not doing this anymore? There's a few reasons. One, it was sparked by what's going on in my life. It really was. And it goes to show, I've talked about before how there's been times where I've gone to comic books to pull me out of dark times. I think there's many of you here tonight that probably have similar stories where comic books have allowed you to be pulled out of something that you were going through, allowed you to escape. Well, right now, it's been kind of the opposite for me. I haven't really found an escape, especially through comics. I've lost drive and interest. But the interesting thing about that kind of being a catalyst is this. Because I'm in a place right now where I'm in front of the camera talking to you guys. I'm doing this here. There is a familiar feeling that I'm feeling right now that feels good. Just being here. And maybe this is a good thing because maybe it's going to push me to get back to doing what I do best, right? But even with that, I'm looking back on my decision to not buy these new comic books every month. And I'm sticking with it. And let me tell you why I'm sticking with it. One, I simply have not been reading comic books. Now, again, part of that is because of everything going on in my life. But I can't just blame that. Because even a couple months ago, before all this started happening, I was barely keeping up with Amazing Spider-Man and Star Wars. And I'm buying all these runs with the intent to read. When I buy new comic books, guys, it's very rare that I buy with the intent to, this is a speculation book. I don't do that. Once in a while, sometimes I'll buy a book for a cool cover, at cover price or 35% off. But for the most part, what I would get every month is because I want to read it. And I just haven't been reading. Thank you, JG. I really appreciate that. Travis, thanks for being here. Brian, thanks for being here. Kate Master. What's been troubling me? I might talk about it a little bit. I will say it's extremely personal, and I don't even know if I've let the community know that I've been going through some things, but we'll put that on the back burner. Maybe we'll, if you guys want to hear me, if you guys want to be my therapist tonight, maybe, but we'll come back to that. Okay. But let's focus on the comic books. I buy new comic books to read for the most part. I haven't been reading them. I have basically been so involved in work. I added a second part-time job at my school. I was doing YouTube full-time, selling comic books. It's a lot. And then, taking care of kids, even though they're teenagers, it's a lot. It's burnout too, because I'm so exhausted. Sometimes I think about reading a comic book and I just lay there in bed and I don't have the energy to even pick one up. I'm sure we all go through those feelings as well. And maybe it comes and goes. Maybe we're not stuck in that all the time. Because there have been moments, where I'll take a night and I'll read 5 comic books in one night and be like, yeah, but then I don't pick up another one for a month. Now, here's the other reason. Money. And outside of everything that I've been going through that's completely just kind of took away any aspiration, it's money. Money is the biggest issue right now concerning floppy new comic books. Because everything, I go to the grocery store and I was just reading an article that they were saying like I don't know if it was California or the Bay Area. Food is up 18%. I'm like, food ain't up 18%, man. It's doubled since a year ago. What is it up 18% over the last month? Because it was cheaper a month ago. Literally. Meat, lunch meat, some produce, eggs, dairy, bread, so much of the essentials that we buy literally is double. I mean, eggs are like tripled or quadrupled right now from a year or so ago. It's crazy. Who wants to buy comic books? $3.99, $4.99 for a comic book that doesn't even get you through 10% of a story arc these days. You get 10 word bubbles in a comic book that you're paying $4 or $5 for. And then I'm not getting into, anything outside the fact that there's great stories out there still. I'm not going to get into these, extreme, polarizing, sensationalized rhetoric of new comic books. I'm not going to do that because that's a whole other thing. But there are a lot of bad stories. There's a lot of bad stories, but not only that, you don't get as much per book. I would rather, and this is what I'm contemplating right now. I would rather just stop. And here's another thing. Here's the other thing. I used to be able to buy new books, even with the intent to read, knowing that maybe I won't even read half of them, but I at least have them as a collectible. Thank you, YOLO, bro. Thank you. I appreciate hearing that. Now it's like new books don't even hold cover price value anymore. So what's the point? I could go back to an LCS 6 months later and find them in a half off bin. I, at this point, would rather do one of two things. Save money. If I want to really read the story arc, save money and buy the trade paperback. Because collecting new books, they ain't holding value anyways. And the second thing is pay $7.99 a month for my Marvel Unlimited. It's so much cheaper. And for those that say digital is going to take over, digital is still 10% of the market, and it's been that way for 13 years. It hasn't grown. But I don't know, guys. The economy, people are tight on money. Everything's costing more. Comic books are costing more. We're not getting the bang for our buck. They're not even real collectibles anymore. Again, new comics. That's why I'm saying new comics. It's very rare that we see comic books hold their values. Unless they're a first appearance, unless they're a variant. And even then, variant values tend to drop dramatically over the course of months and years after the initial hype. So what is the point? What's the point? I just don't see it right now. I'm going to read some comments. Nukes, what's going on? I think $2.99 is such a great price point, Solomon. I do. I think $2.99 is such a great middle ground price point considering inflation and the cost of things right now. Yeah, Solomon, where I'm at, your cheapest, Walmart brand are $5 a dozen. And then everything else is more like all the cage-free ones or organic are like $8, $11 a dozen. It's crazy. X11, yet another reason why I restrict myself to one character that I will never stop loving or lose interest in. I will say this, guys. I still get my Marvel subscription mail order of Amazing Spider-Man. That's the one thing. It's on like auto renew. I pay like $23 for 12 issues, and it just comes in the mail. So I'm not going to cut that out. That's one thing that's going to keep coming, but everything else, it's done right now. I try to do 3 comics a week and done with bag issues. Nothing says. Steven says, I'm feeling the recession at work, getting militant, worried about the job, their jobs. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you on that. I mean, I just heard that, what is it? Alphabet, Google, another 12,000 layoffs coming. It's crazy. Peter's here. What's going on, Peter? You promised me comics. Buy indie only. I mean, you can buy what you like, but indie does have a lot of great stories still. And not to say that Marvel and DC thing that pertains to you, or you're not reading anything and you're just talking gibberish, following the rhetoric. There's good stories out there. There's a lot of bad stories out there, but indies really are trying to keep things fresh with the storytelling. And I do appreciate that. Manny, what's going on, Manny? Completely skip New Comic Book Day and sticking to one character bag issue bins has helped. I'll do trades if it's good. My comic shop said people aren't picking up their pull lists. Yeah, I can imagine, man. Remember when DC drew the line at $2.99? Yep. Jay says you have to buy the incentive variants. No, thanks. Who cares about value? A lot of people do, and that's just a fact of the matter. But yeah, I mean, even for the stories, even those wanting to read it for the stories, it's getting very expensive. I'd rather go to at this point, I would rather go to an old used bookstore and find books for $1.50, like novels, or and read a good story. Sci-fi, adventure, whatever, All entertainment is sucking, not just comics. And Holy Harlot, you have a valid point there. I think the quality is plummeting. I mean, like, I don't even know, outside of superhero movies, right? I don't know what's in theaters anymore. I have no idea what's in theaters anymore. And I don't care. It's the same thing. Movies, or should I say, live action entertainment, right? Film has so many so many parallels to comic books right now. The price point to be entertained, to take in the story, has gone so far up, and the quality of the story has diminished. Again, not saying that all of it has. And again, I'm not saying that there's a reason why, because of some rhetoric or some agenda. That's not what I'm saying. The bottom line is because, well, it sells. Garbage sells. And it's that simple. You can make the same movie over and over. You can make freaking Fast and the Furious 2024, and you can do the same thing. I mean, like Dom's flying out in space, jumping cars off the moon and crap. And people are going to pay $15 a ticket to go see it because we're devolved. I'm sorry, not to mock you guys. Some of you are probably like, I love Fast and Furious movies, but I mean, come on, can we mix it up? So I get it. Entertainment altogether, it's more about just getting the quick buck and less about providing substance. We get that a lot. And again, it's not everything. You can't stereotype, can't generalize. So with that being said, I'm going to get to a couple more comments here. Shadowrod says, I've cut back on what I was buying, still getting the main books I read, though. Yeah, Alex Ross, Timeless Variants, pretty beautiful, too, right? Yeah, I love Alex Ross, man. This world's going to turn me Amish. All right, guys. Mod, what's going on, Mod? Yeah, we're talking about new comics that I'm not buying anymore. Now, let's talk about where I'm at with back issues. I already said this before all this my life kind of took a turn, and it just goes to show you guys that priorities can switch and life can hit you. Life can hit you real quick and change you, maybe for good. And I really feel like I'm going through that right now, but I was already in a point where I was being overwhelmed by my comics, having so many. And I was already at a point where I was going to start shuffling through my personal collection, which I did. It's a lot. And I was going to start minimizing my personal collection. I'm still going to do that. And when I look at my collection, I don't care about much of it anymore. Who has been a diehard collector where you care about collecting runs, you get attached to your comics, anything that you put into your personal collection, you can't part with? Who's been that, or who is that? Because I've lived half my life, hopefully, and I've been that way my whole life since I was 5 years old. Since I was 5 years old. And I'm not like that anymore. I actually look at my collection and it gives me anxiety, knowing that I have stuff that I don't care about. Who's been there? Who has been there? And you may think, how does that even happen? I was that person. I would hear people say something similar to that I'm saying right now, and I'd be like, how can you even say that? How can you even go from saying that you're a collector of run, and you care about your PC, and now you want to part with it? That's blasphemy. But maybe life has a good way of putting things in perspective. I haven't bought a comic book in 2 months. 2 months, maybe a little more. And I don't have an urge to right now. But again, this is because of stuff going on in my life. But one thing that I know for sure is this. When I think about, because here's the thing. I love, even right now in this mind state I'm in, I'm never going to get rid of my legacy runs, like my complete Thor run, my complete Captain America run, my ASM Volume 1 run, my complete Spider-Woman run, my complete Nova run, my DC Batman Legacy run, Volume 1 run, Detective Comics, Superman. I'm never going to, that's mine that I'm going to pass down to my kids and their kids still to this day. But I can't even think about spending money. Like, what's a run that I've been collecting? What's the run? My Fantastic Four run. It's pretty solid. Say there's a Silver Age book, Fantastic Four, that it's on sale for $50. And I know that Kid Collector, what's going on, man? It's so good to see you in here. Thanks, Aaron. If I see a book for $50 and I know I don't have this, like I have every Fantastic Four book from like issue number 100 and up. And my under 100 is pretty solid. So say this is issue number 48 or something, just some random number. $50. That's a solid price for the grade. Right now, I don't even see myself taking $50 and buying a comic book. Even with it being a comic book that I would enjoy keeping and pass on to my kids and their kids. And I do think it's because I am at a point in my life where, and I'm going to say this, guys, anybody that says money, I don't care about money. has never lived without it. Now, before you twist my words around, don't get me wrong. Money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't, money can't just make you happy. You have to find value in life that doesn't equate to anything monetary, or you will not be living. But let me tell you this, when they say money cannot buy happiness, now that metaphor I agree with, but you ain't lived in poverty. Anybody says that they don't care about money and money can't make me happier, you ain't never lived without it. Because I will tell you, I've lived many years of my life where going to McDonald's to get my kids a $1 burger and a $1 sundae was our Disneyland. Unfortunately, we live in a world where everything costs, well, again, not everything, but there are things that money can't buy. And you have to find that. Money doesn't buy family. Money doesn't buy time. But money does allow you to not sit in the suffering of financial woes and struggle. And when you do that, it's very, very hard to live in the moment. It's very hard to sit and think that I never took my kids anywhere past their own block to give them life experiences. I didn't ever have money to go buy a fishing, and again, I'm just throwing things, a fishing pole to go and a tackle box to go take my kids fishing so I can live life. Because that moment, being in that moment, sitting at a lake, casting a pole with your kids, money doesn't buy that. Money will never buy that moment. But money buys that pole. Money buys that bait. I'm at a point right now where I live my life. I am 40 years old. And I don't have it all together. I don't know what I'm doing still. So how can I sit here and spend $50 on a comic book? Because in 10 years from now, if I spent $50 on a comic book every other month and I calculate how much money I spent and I didn't take my kids to that lake on that weekend with that fishing pole and that tackle box, I failed life. And then you know what I can't get back? Money didn't buy it, but you know what I can't get back? That time. Because you don't get a second chance. So I put a lot of things in perspective right now. And this is only my experience. Anything in life can drive purpose. We can find purpose in the smallest things. We could find purpose in exercising. We could find purpose in our job. We could find purpose in a friend. We could find purpose going for a walk, helping someone out. We could find purpose in comic books. But when the material thing doesn't tend to the purpose any longer, it's time to shift focus. And that's just where I am. Does that mean it's always going to be like that? No. I'll tell you one thing. Here's one thing. My son, my 17-year-old son, he gets off of school and before he goes to work, because he works right down the street, there's a comic book store right down the street. He'll go into the comic book store every month. He buys the new Amazing Spider-Man and the new Miles and he reads them. And then he comes home and he talks to me about the stories. So in that aspect, comic books are still serving a purpose for me. but it's a different dynamic, right? That's my son's experience that he's sharing with me. So the moral of the story, I think, is this. Again, this is my personal experience right now. I brought up two situations. I brought up the fact that comic books in general are losing their ability to serve their purpose because we need to get back to realizing that comic books need to tell stories and they need to be affordable. We need to be able to afford them, and we're living through crazy times where a lot of people are tight on money. That's one moral of the story tonight. And I just want you all to continue that conversation. What does buying new comic books mean to you right now? How are you struggling with it? How are you managing it? And talk about it. I'm sure everyone does things a little bit differently. The more we talk, the more we can impact this community and the industry around us, and hope that we can continue to enjoy comics if you want to still be involved in new comics in a positive way. And then when it comes to comic book collecting as a whole, when you talk about back issues and collecting for investing, reading, investing, hoarding, collecting, whatever, ask yourself, what's your purpose? What is your purpose? And if it's not serving your purpose, that's okay. Or maybe this, maybe you're the opposite of me. Maybe whatever you think your purpose is isn't serving you. And maybe comics can come in and help you find it. Right now, my purpose is separating from what I've done for a long time here with comic books. But comic books are always going to be there in my life still. But we'll see. Because right now, the future is it's unknown. And that's okay. Because sometimes through the unknown, we find new things. Right? So, I want to read a few of you guys' comments. Term Magic. Yeah, my kids appreciate comic books, and I'm glad it served its purpose there for so many years. But now they're on their own. Like, now it's their thing. I don't need to. It's not my purpose anymore. It's theirs, right? So that's a positive thing. That's a good thing. Steven, yeah, exactly, man. You ain't never live without a hot stove to turn on, right? That's when it buys happiness. It buys your food to cook and food to eat. Brandon Hanson. Brandon, thank you for being here, man. I love Corvettes, my favorite car. It rents it. That's a good way of putting that, Solomon. Money rents happiness. That's a very interesting. That could be a kind of a show topic to talk about. Does money buy or rent happiness? I like that. Money opens opportunities. I like that. Kid collector you got to be 17 years old now, right? Turning 18 this year, maybe. Kid collector says, I'm not sure if anyone has really got their ish together fully. Each day, something new happens. Shoot, something popped up on my screen, got in front of the comment. Each day, something new happens. We just try our best to navigate that and make the best we can. Just some kid thoughts. Kid collector, man, always been so wise for your age. I appreciate you, man. And it's so good to hear you, to hear your thoughts tonight and to see you here, man. That you're going to make me kind of emotional, man. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, man. I appreciate you. Buddy says, I'm 57 years old. Life is a balance. I'm still looking for it. Thank you, buddy. That gives me hope, right? Let's see what we got. X11. My own personal experience, the only collectors I have met myself who are completely content in the hobby have one thing in common. They don't sell. I agree, X11, but you know what's interesting is even if I never started selling comics, I know for a fact I'd feel the same way right now. I know it. All right, let's get to a couple more comments, and then we're going to get into these questions, guys. Raising Up is going to refocus. Yep. Mando, I stopped buying and have my kids my entire collection. They're going through it too, see what they want, and they're going to sell the rest. Okay, that's what's up. Nameless, imagine if all you knew. Oh, shoot, I lost the comment. Where did it go? Shoot. Sorry, guys, I lost the comment. Oh, here it is. Imagine if all you knew about comics was the dribble from the last 7 years. Yeah, I mean, look, and again, there's been some really good stuff over the last recent years too. But there's a lot of bad stuff too. But yeah, I wouldn't want that to be my only knowledge at all. All right, folks. I really appreciate everyone being here. We've had for my first real comic talk live back. This has been a great audience, great chat. I really appreciate you guys. Before we get into the questions, I want to remind you guys the link to support Simon's family, our friend Simon R., who passed away recently, lost his battle to cancer. The link to the GoFundMe is the first thing below. Please, guys, even if it's just $2, $3, $4, it all adds up. And I know his wife and daughter and family can really use the help right now. Simon was one of the most amazing members in this community and was just an amazing human being that always gave back. So I ask you guys to click the link, share the link. And if you can't donate even $1 right now, I ask that you take a few seconds to at least share the link. That means the world. I also want to remind you guys, follow me on Whatnot. My handle is below for my Whatnot too. I'm going to be having a sale most likely the first week of February. I think it's going to be that first Friday, February 2nd or 4th or something like that. I'm going to have a sale, and it's not going to be a fundraising for Simon because, again, I'm just being completely honest with everything going on in my life. I was not going to work. I'm not doing my channel. I haven't been selling comics. I need some revenue to pay some bills, so I'm going to do a sale, but I am going to take 10% of everything I make from that sale and donate it directly to Simon's wife. Like I said, I'll probably send it to her via Zelle because they don't take any percentage out. I will screenshot and share on my Instagram and on my YouTube how much I made, what that 10% is, and proof that I sent it to Simon's family. So that's a good way that you could get some comic books, help support Simon's family. But I will be trying to take whenever I can muster up the energy and time to help get a actual auction where all the proceeds can go to Simon's family. I want to still help do that. All right. So let's pull up these comments, guys. So, like I said, there's not too many here, but we got a couple from Tony, and Tony was here. Tony, I hope you're still here. Where's my water? All right, Tony asked, I was wondering, he says, with you being an artist and all, who are your top 5 artists that you think draw females the best? I think we could rule out J. Scott Campbell. Wow. 5 artists that draw women the best. Jim Lee. I grew up with it. I love how Psylocke. Oh my God. Jim Lee. You got to put John Romita in there. Just the classic John Romita. Jim Lee, John Romita. All right. Next up is Avi, how do you say his last name? Granard? Yeah. Avi does, I really love how he draws women. I love how he draws. He's one of my favorite artists. And then I would have to say, I got to put Alex Ross in there, man. And again, it ain't just women, it's just how he captures people. And lastly, Adam Hughes. Adam Hughes. Shadow Roger said it. Adam Hughes. So what did I say? Jim Lee, John Romita Sr., Alex Ross, Avi Granard, and Adam Hughes. That's top 5 off the top of my head. Oh, runner up, and she is a woman, Jenny Frison. Jenny Frison, man. Yeah. Archerm's great, but the reason why I don't say Archerm is because all of his women look the same. He just changes their hair and skin complexion. But he does a great job. Peach is great. Peach is great too. All right, next question, guys. Another one from Tony. This was back during the holiday season. What was your best holiday memory and why? You can only choose one. Tony, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to choose 2. I will have to say this holiday season was extremely rough for me. One reason, I'll be honest with you guys, my father is very sick. I mean, he's older. He's 76 years old, but he's not that old. He has what is called PSP. It's similar to ALS, where it just attacks you and shuts you down. And this last Thanksgiving and Christmas could have very well been my last with him. And on top of that, I was going through all kind of other very serious personal issues. And I'm just being real. It was horrible. And the holidays have always been very special to me. They mean so much to me. And it sucked. It sucked. There's no sugarcoating it. But I'm glad I can have positive memories to look back on. And I'm going to do 2, Tony. One that just has to do with like kind of favorite kind of like childhood moment. I remember it was Nintendo had just came out. Right? NES. And my cousin had it. My other cousin had it. Like everyone had it except for us. You know, we weren't poor. You know, my mom worked 2 jobs. My dad worked. And my grandma lived with us. And we had all we needed. But that Christmas, I remember going and opening up the presents, me and my brother. And we got an Atari 2600 Junior. And we got Miss Pac-Man and Moon Patrol. And I remember plugging it into our TV, our little, wood grain TV that morning and just playing Atari all morning long. And that's one of the best, just like, like we didn't care. We didn't care that everyone else had a Nintendo, and that was awesome. Yeah. I think I was 5 years old. I was 5 years old. Now, the real moment, my real memory, favorite memory, because it's not just about the presents under the tree, is so we had I'm Sicilian, and I had a large Sicilian family growing up. Christmas morning was me, my brother, my mom, and my dad, and my grandma that lived with us. Christmas Eve was when the whole family got together. And, I had so many cousins, so many cousins, and uncles and aunts, and my grandma, and my grandpa. And I, when you're young, you look back on when you're young, you don't think, oh, presents. When do we eat? When do we open presents? When do we open presents? When do we open presents? But when you're older, You look back and you remember everything. You don't just remember the presents. You remember the people that you were around. And that's my favorite memory. And like I said, it's not just of one time. It's the accumulative memory of being in the moment and all of those people that you love. Wow, I'm sorry, guys. Because the one gift that we have in life, the only thing that we carry with us throughout our life, and they say when it's our time to go, whatever you believe in after this, those are the things that we remember in that moment. It's memories. Memories are the only thing that last a lifetime. Nothing else. Not even the people that we love. That's what's important. And I hope all you guys remember that. All right. All right. Tony has one more. How to throw a sports question. 2-on-2 pickup basketball game. Jordan and Magic versus Kobe and LeBron. All in their prime. Who you got? Tony, I'm not even going to answer that question. I am picking any team with Jordan on it. I don't care. I don't care if it was Kobe and Jordan. You know what I'll do? I'll take Jordan and Pippen. I will take Jordan and Pippen over Magic and Kobe, Kobe and LeBron, LeBron and Magic, LeBron and Kobe. I don't care. I'll take Jordan and any of those people over anyone else that doesn't have Jordan. That's what I'm doing. All right, X11 has got a question here. All right, here we go. Chris, what is your biggest childhood or new collectible moment? Example, I use my dad's Barry Bond rookie card on my bike spokes. I will say this. My dad bought me a pack of 87 Topps, which had the Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds Topps All-Star rookies. They weren't the super valuable ones. And I used to take the card, and fold it like this. And me and my brother, and we'd sit it like this, and we used to do little bridges, and we used to drive our Hot Wheels through them. So I probably folded a handful or more of, cards that might today be worth like 20 bucks or something like that, because we know that those were mass produced, and the steroid scandals brought Mark McGwire stuff down. Is still decent, but there were still some good cards in there that I ruined too. So yeah. All right. Gold School, hello from Chicago. What's going on? That's right. That's right. Don't let anybody say anything else. All right. X11 also says, if you had the ability to change only one thing about the world, what would it be? The one thing that I would change is our lack of compassion for human life and other people. I am so, what did Captain America say when he was asked, so you want to go overseas and kill Nazis? I don't want to kill anyone. I just don't like bullies. I'm so sick and tired of bullies. I'm so sick and tired of us not valuing human life. If there's one thing I could do, I would instill compassion and empathy into everyone so we can value human life. X11 also asks, Summer of 94, Star Fox, Social D, and Offspring smash. Perfect music, gaming combination, agree or disagree? I love it, but it's not for me. 94 for me. Summer of 94 would be World Series Baseball, Sega Genesis. And man, music. 94. 94 would be, oh gosh. I would say, oh my gosh, that's tough. I would say that would be around Pete Rocket, CL Smooth, and TLC's Crazy Sexy Cool. Yep. 93, summer of 93 was Sega Genesis, Mercs, and The Chronic all summer long. Yep. All right. What was your gaming? So, okay, so I just answered that. All right. X11, awesome stuff, man. Appreciate you. All right, we got a couple more, guys. Let me look at a couple of comments real quick. Yeah, Paige. I have a Mark McGwire, I have a Barry Bonds 87 Fleer rookie 10.0. It's the 86 tops that's the big money for him though. Oh man, yeah, how do I forget freaking 36 Chambers in 94, man? Yep, Terminus. Yep. All right. Next up. Justin Raising Elm. Thank you for being here, man. He's got a couple questions, and this is going to end it for the night. I want to hear your thoughts on the upcoming $600 threshold reporting rule with the payment apps for IRS. It used to be $20,000 or $200 a transaction. In my opinion, as a small online seller myself, these strict limitations can hinder the future growth of small business owners. Justin, I agree. A lot of small business ventures won't even see an ROI or profit for the first year or so, which makes me wonder how this ruling will impact things long term. Will online sellers have to increase the prices on their merchandise to compensate for the new tax reporting rules? If so, will we be able to fully identify the true fair market value of our comic books, or will we just have to consider a percentage of the cost to be an uncontrolled variable, which would be a true fair market value, Justin? You're right. Uncontrolled variables, all this, they're going to manipulate move the value, but then that value ends up becoming a true value if that's what we have to pay, right? Essentially. I know I'm digging into some heavy material here, but this potential change in the way the secondary market will have to operate has me concerned. What about you guys? So, Justin, same concerns. And you guys saw that for 2022, they paused it. They're not doing it yet. They put it on hold. Thank God. Thank you, IRS. I do think it's going to be a hindrance. I do think it is something that can drive prices up some. I don't see it being too crazy. Here's what can offset it, though. If you are a small business and you're making X amount of money, there are tax refund incentives that can offset that. Now, I don't know that I'm not a certified CPA. I don't know the details. I've talked with this to my tax person the last 2 years, ever since I've started doing journals as a business. And there can be opportunity for those that don't make a lot of money, like 6 figures plus or whatever. where they might be able to still get a lot of that back. If you want to understand that, I would take that and talk to your tax person about it and see what they have to say. But here's something that's so funny. I set up a bank account for my son who's 17, so it's still in my name. He's on the account. His first bank account, checking account, and savings. Setting it up, if you set it up with $500, you got $225 from Chase. We set it up. We got the $225 deposited into the bank once it was open for 30 days for opening the account and keeping $500 in it. I just received a 1099 in the mail today saying I am being taxed on that $299. By the way, that's my son's money. I gave it to him, obviously. I'm being taxed on that as earnings, as if it was taxable earnings. The IRS can go freaking, I'm done. It's thievery. It's done. Greed. The IRS doesn't care about doing anything morally, ethically. It's all about making money, dude. Everything. The bureaucracies, the politicians, the lobbyists. I'm done. It's all about money, money, money in my pocket. We'll see how it goes, Justin. We'll see how it goes. All right, last question. Our little man turns 1-year-old this weekend, and it made me wonder, how are my kids doing? Justin, thank you for asking, and we'll end on this note. I'm going to end on this note, guys. And again, before I answer this question, I appreciate you guys so much. It's been a great show, and you guys really have given me an energy that I haven't felt in almost 2 months. That's love. And I mean that. I want to remind you guys, the link below to Simon's GoFundMe. We lost the best of us. It seems it's always that way. An amazing man, an amazing father, husband, and friend to many of us. Please, if you could donate $1, $2, $3, the link is below. If you can't donate anything, or if you can, donate a few seconds of your time by sharing that link. Again, I'm going to be having a Whatnot show. That link is below as well to follow me on Whatnot. I'm going to be having a sale first week of February. And again, I've been hurting financially. I need to pay bills. It's got to be a show where I can bring in revenue, selling my books, but I'm going to donate 10% of that to Simon's family. And I would document on my Instagram and on my YouTube proof that that money went to his family. So just a reminder. I'm going to end with this question, Justin. Somebody asked what was going on. I really don't, here's the funny thing, guys, because right before all this life hit, there was so much stupid fake YouTube community drama. And with everything that I've been through in my life over the last 7 weeks, like, middle finger to freaking anybody that wants to beef over comics. Middle finger to anybody that you ain't getting an ounce of my attention or energy anymore. I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for your family. I will pray for you and for them. It's just sad because, God damn it, life is so, wow. My world is crumbling apart right now. My world, and I get those people that are, oh, Journo's always got a sob story. Nah, you know what? I'm real though. I'm real, and I don't. And I will say, I appreciate like so many people that are here right now, like reaching out with concern and empathy towards me during this time that I've stepped away. Life can fucking hit you hard. And my world is in pieces. Still trying to count my blessings. My kids have gone through it over these last couple of months, but they're okay. And Justin, I thank you for asking. My oldest he has his own issues that he's going through. He's, always had his learning disabilities and processing issues, and his mental health I worry about because it's been very tough for him to make friends. He's a senior this year, but he's gotten involved in journalism, and he's going on a trip to New York in March with his journalism class. They're going to go to Columbia University to workshop for 3 days. They're going to go to New York Times headquarters. They're going to go to like Wall Street Journal, and then they're going to do some sightseeing, like going to the 9/11 monument. I'm so jealous because I've never been to New York myself, and this is his first big thing. He's never been on an airplane even. And thank you, Kid Collector. Thank you. But I'm the worried parent. I'm so worried. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to be all the way across the other side of the country for a week. Oh my God, check in with me in the morning, check in with me at night, text me, call me. But I'm so happy for him to be able to have this experience. And I want to tell all of you parents out there, I'm a big worry wart, but at the same time, you got to let your kids live. You got to let them have these experiences, and it's what matters. God, I am so fucking sorry, guys. It's awesome. He saved up some money, but then my mom and I helped put it together, and we did fundraising to get the rest of the money to fund the trip. So yeah, I can't wait for him to have that experience and to share it with me. Yeah. My younger guy, he's in a sophomore this year. He's gotten involved in a church group every Wednesday because he struggled during COVID. He started a new school out of town during COVID, and it's been tough on him because he's always been a very outgoing person. But he's in a college preparatory charter high school, and he's into graphic design, and he's taking STEM and robotics. He's involved in the Black Student Union, and he might be saving up for a trip to Japan next year as a junior. And I'm just so proud of them. Thank you. I don't want anybody's pity or anything right now. I just want you guys to know that. But thank you, Triple X. I just can't fake the funk, guys. But I really do value all of you guys. Because in one of the darkest times in my life, over the last 6 or 7 weeks, I didn't go one day without one of you or somebody in this community texting me or messaging me on Instagram, checking in to make sure that I was okay. And while other people want to get in front of this screen and act like it's a fucking popularity contest, and want to beef over dumb shit. You guys are real human beings. And you guys have really been a family to me during this time. And that means more than anything, because for a few weeks there, I cut everything off. I cut everything off. I didn't see any light. I didn't talk to no one. I was broken. But I finally pushed myself to start reading your guys' messages and responding. And when I started doing that, it gave me hope. And I knew I wasn't alone. And that's real, man. I grew up in an environment with people that I called my friends. I went to jail for, I took cases for, who didn't give a shit about me, who stole from me, who manipulated me, who used me. When I tried to get my life back on track, I had people that I thought were good people that were different than what I grew up with, who did the same thing, used me. I ended up pursuing a music career. And I thought I always had people around me. And as soon as I was done with the music, they disappeared. It wasn't real. I haven't met 99.9% of you in person ever. And you guys have shown me more real love than any of those people that I used to call friends in my life. And you give me hope. So thank you for being here tonight, guys. I am working on a video. I'm working on a video building graphics up because I haven't done a recorded video. Everything that you guys have seen over the last 6-7 weeks has been pre-recorded just for me to put something up. But thank you guys for being here tonight, because although I'm a little emotional right now, I'm going to come out of this and I was able to escape and be in this moment with you all. And that's important to me. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate you. Tino, Ghost, everyone. Thank you guys. Thank you, kid. Let's you know, I'll push through, man. I'll be figuring it out. Let's have another Friday Night Live soon here. Keep supporting, guys. I appreciate it. Check out the link for Simon. Reach out to me. Journos Comics isn't done. It's just the crumbling of the old and trying to find the rebirth. So I got to get my shoes on. I got to go pick up my son from work. Thank you guys so very much. I hope you have a good rest of your Friday evening. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Be safe. Spend it with the people you love. And don't take it for granted. Thank you guys so much. Be well. And until next time.